everyone, and welcome. This is Susan Lopresti, and you are listening to the Susan Lopresti Wellness, Mind, Body, and Soul podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I work with midlife women who are noticing changes in how they look and how they feel due to aging, and I help them to reclaim their health and their vitality that they had when they were younger. I teach women how to be proactive in maintaining good health through my webinars, my coaching programs, and my podcasts. And actually, that's the reason why I created this podcast to begin with. And that was, I wanted to get my message out to the world because I feel everyone who listens to my podcast can benefit from the episodes that I speak about maintaining good health. And a lot of it is not just about women, but people in general in maintaining good health. But I do have a focus on midlife women. Once women begin to look and feel better, they will now come to the realization that midlife can be the best time in their life. Because when you're not feeling well and you're having all of these health challenges, you look at this time of life in a very gloomy type of way, like it's downhill from here. And that is not the case. And that's my intention, is to let people know that just because you're entering midlife doesn't mean it's like the end. It could be the start of something wonderful in a midlife woman's life. You may be wondering how I help women to get to this place of wellness. It's through alternative healing modalities with a focus on functional medicine, also movement of your body daily, daily meditation, energy healing, and of course, having healing foods as well. And my focus is to help women to make better choices with food and to increase exercise, self-care, work on relationships with yourself. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you have. So you want to work on that from an emotional standpoint and also a physical standpoint in improving your health, and also from a spirituality aspect. I believe that knowledge is power, and I give women the tools needed to prevent rapid aging and decline. And armed with the tools necessary to do so, you can slow the aging process to make this time in your life the best years ever. So through diet and lifestyle changes, my clients begin to notice an improvement in their health and in the way they feel and they look in just a matter of weeks. Now, with that in mind, I do want you to understand that I am not a doctor. And by all means, if you are not feeling well, my best advice for you is to seek the advice of a doctor. If you've been enjoying my podcast, please let me know. Leave me a comment. And if you feel that others would benefit from listening to my podcast, please share it out with them as well. I would love to help as many women as possible through this podcast. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. And I hope that I am adding value to your day. And now let's go on with the episode. We just came off of Memorial Weekend. So today I want to talk about safety in the sun. How do we protect the skin that we're in, right? Everyone loves the warmth of the sun on their skin, but how much sun is too much sun? And how do you know if a suspicious spot should be checked out by a professional doctor? You're about to find out the answers to all of your sun-related questions. So sit back and relax and enjoy this episode. One of the first questions that you may ask when you're talking and you're saying, I need to stay out of the sun for my skin. And then the next question is, but don't I need vitamin D? We all need vitamin D. It helps our bones, and without it, we're at risk of conditions like osteoporosis. Vitamin D also helps to boost your immune system. When your skin is exposed to sunlight, it manufactures vitamin D. However, letting the sun beat down on you isn't the only way to satisfy your vitamin D quotient. Fatty fish, egg yolks, beef, liver, and cheese are all good sources of vitamin D. You could also find milk and orange juice that has been fortified with vitamin D. If you think you're not getting enough, supplementation is another option. So, how much sunscreen do I need? Ingredients like zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, and other minerals act as a physical sunblock. They reflect UV rays from the skin. The white-colored noses on beachgoers in the 1980s and the 1990s were due to these compounds, right? And thankfully, manufacturers today can make these compounds much smaller so that the sunscreen can blend into your skin. Sunscreens can also contain ingredients such as avobenzone or oxybenzone, which are organic chemicals that absorb UV radiation instead of reflecting it. We want to talk about UVB and UVA SPF. They both stand for sun protection factor and refer to how well a sunscreen can protect against UVB rays, which cause burning and sun cancer. It could also be helpful to think of UVB for burning, right? Another type of radiation is called UVA, and this is responsible for age spots and wrinkles, as well as some types of skin cancer. So choose sunscreens that are labeled broad spectrum to ensure that it protects from both UVA and UVB rays. Currently, there is no standard in the United States for listing UVA blocking power. In certain European and Asian countries, UVA protection must be listed on the packaging the same way SPF would be. So let's talk about applying and reapplying. Every time you use sunscreen, use about a shot glass worth. That's about an ounce or so to cover your whole body. And you want to apply your first coat 15 minutes before you venture outside, right? So while you're still in the house, preferably if you're going to be wearing a bathing suit, apply the protection while you're naked so that you cover all areas of your body. And again, you want to apply that first coat 15 minutes before you venture outside. Then reapply every 2 hours as long as you're outdoors. I also want to talk about expiration dates on sunscreens because this is really important. Sunscreens are designed to remain at optimal strength for up to 3 years. This means that you can use leftover sunscreen from 1 year to the next, which is great news because they're not that cheap and we're all looking to save $1 these days. So some sunscreens will include an expiration date. Discard sunscreen that is past the expiration date. Otherwise, write the date of purchase on the bottle and be sure to throw it out 3 years later if you still have any left. Let's talk about extra protection as well. It's better to be safe than sorry. When you're spending a lot of time outdoors, be sure to cover up with lightweight, light-colored clothing. Make it a point to wear a hat with a brim, I always do, to cover your eyes and your scalp, and don't leave your house without sunglasses on a bright day. Additionally, if you're buying chapstick or skin makeup, choose products that include at least SPF 15. Just take note that the trace amounts of SPF in foundation or moisturizer likely won't be enough on its own. You still have to layer on regular sunscreen. And we really need to talk about skin cancer. I mean, it's not a topic that we want to talk about, but it's imperative, especially if you do spend a lot of time in the sun. So let's go over a few facts and statistics about skin cancer. More than 5.4 million cases of non-melanoma skin cancer were treated in over 3.3 million people in the United States in 2012, the most recent year that new statistics were available. More people are diagnosed with skin cancer in the U.S. each year than all other cancers combined. 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the age of 70. The annual cost of treating skin cancers in the U.S. is estimated to be about $8.1 billion. Regular and daily use of SPF 15 or higher sunscreens reduces the risk of developing squamous cell carcinoma, the second most common type of skin cancer, by about 40%. And in the notes, I'm going to give you a link to some more facts related to skin cancer. The next thing I want to talk about is when to seek shade, right? So UVB rays are most active between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. So make every effort to limit your time in the direct sunlight during those hours. I always go for my walk after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's just me. Some people may want to go before 10 a.m. And also, we need to talk about reflective surfaces. So water, sand, concrete, snow, and ice are all surfaces that can reflect UV rays and cause more severe sunburn, and further evidence that you should be wearing sunscreen year-round, even in the winter. Now, I'm going to give you a side personal experience that I had. Years ago, I went snow skiing, and I was on the mountain for like 8 hours that day. I never thought about putting sunscreen on. Well, guess what? I had the worst sunburn by the end of the day that it actually ruined the rest of my trip. So please be aware of these reflective surfaces, and it doesn't need to be just in the summertime. That's a perfect example when I was out snow skiing. Also, what about cloudy days, right? When the sun is not out, when it's cloudy. Up to 80% of the sun's UV rays can pass through clouds, which means that you can still get a very serious sunburn on an overcast day. And then there are people who say, but I don't burn. I never burn. I have dark skin. I never burn. It's a common misconception that darker complexions don't need sunscreen. While melanin does protect from a small number of UV rays, every shade of skin needs sun protection. Don't fool yourself. If you have a dark skin tone, you'll likely get a natural skin protectant of about SPF 13. You need about SPF 30 for reliable protection. No matter your skin color, you're still at risk of cancer, wrinkles, dark spots, and burning from excessive skin exposure. So don't fool yourself into thinking that you have darker skin and you don't have to worry about any of this. You do. Avoid the white cast. Sunscreen is a crucial part of every beauty routine. But the white cast is something that you can leave behind because it isn't always attractive, right? So if this is an issue that you've dealt with, where you have this white cast on you, apply sunscreen at least 20 minutes before you go outside so that it has time to soak into your skin. Also, use a separate type of sunscreen for your face. If you can find a gel-based sunscreen, that's the best bet, right? You could also try looking for a tinted sunscreen or lay a sunscreen on underneath your regular foundation or powder. So first put your sunscreen and then put your foundation and powder over it if you find that you're getting a white tint to your skin, right? So this is what we could do to prevent sunburn and sun damage when we're outside. We want to be able to enjoy this wonderful time of year and be outside in the sun, enjoy the warmth. But at the same time, we want to be sure that we're protecting our skin. We also want to make sure that we're doing regular skin checks. And if you know what to look for, you can spot warning signs of cancer very early on. And that's the best way to protect. Go right to your doctor. Do a full body check once a month in a well-lit room in front of a full-length mirror, using a hand mirror for areas that are hard to see, or ask your partner to do a scan of you. And if anything comes up, you want to call your doctor immediately. So you want to follow this ABCDE rule. And it's asymmetry, border, color, diameter, and evolving. So for more information, I'm going to put a link about skin cancer in the show notes as well. So go back to that. And a word on indoor tanning. It would be really amiss if I didn't talk about that. Tanning beds are not safer than the sun. Whether indoor or outdoor UV rays, your skin will still suffer. Also, tanning beds don't help your body make vitamin D. They emit mostly UVA light, while your body needs UVB to create vitamin D. I want to talk about embracing a faux tan. Most people fear looking orange from a spray tan, but thanks to technology and lots of experimentation, that's highly unlikely nowadays. Back in the 80s and the late 70s, when I was experimenting with a fake tan or faux tan, I was glowing orange. And so I said, no, this is not for me. It doesn't look natural. I'd rather just be white or get burned because I'm so fair that I have to burn first before I get tan. I no longer do that. I have plenty of sun damage, but I've been on a quest for the last, I want to say, probably 25 years of really protecting my skin. I have freckles, I have sunspots, I have wrinkles. I'm just trying to avoid any more of it. If you love the way you look with a tan, right, do a little research to find a quality product and check out a video that I'm going to put about how to apply self-tanner, because that's really the ticket, right, is how you're applying it. Is it streaky? What's the best way? What do I use to apply it? I'm sure that this video is going to answer a lot of your questions. I also want you to take note of your location. If you live close to the equator, so if you live down south in the States, or you're in South America, you're very, very close to the equator. Or are you high in altitude location? So if you're close to the equator, you're at greater risk of sunburn quicker. And if you're further away, you're at less risk. So take this into account when you're on vacation as well. Because if you live up north, way up north, and you sit in the sun, You may be able to stay an hour and say, oh, an hour I still didn't get burned. But if you're down south, closer to the equator, within 15 to 30 minutes, you could be burning. And everyone is different based on your skin, right? So I'm not telling you that everyone could stay 15 minutes in the sun. If I stay 15 minutes in the sun without sunscreen, I'm going to be having a pink tone to me. So everyone is different. And you know your own body, and you know, based on past experience, you want to do better for yourself because the skin will age you. It looks great while you have a tan, but it will definitely age you over time. So what's more important to you? The other thing I want to recommend is that you keep drinking water. While there's no proof that water can help protect you from the sun, despite what some may claim, it is important to stay hydrated when you're spending time in the sun. So you always want to carry water with you when you're in the sun, and you want to aim to drink more than you would on a typical day spent indoors, right? So that you could avoid heat stroke, because that's definitely something that will happen if you are dehydrated and you're spending time outside. So be sure that you have plenty of water with you and that you're drinking regularly, okay? That's so important. You also want to prevent peeling. Once you've come inside from a sunny day, you want to, after you shower, immediately apply a moisturizer, an oil or an aloe-based gel to your skin. This will help keep it hydrated and make it less likely to peel if you did burn. And then I'm going to talk to you about creating your own do-it-yourself after sun skin tonic. You can make this soothing cream, which is 4 ingredients. In a blender, you want to puree a 1/4 cup of jojoba oil and a 1/4 cup of aloe vera gel. Then you want to add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil and 2 to 3 drops of your favorite essential oil, maybe lavender, and mix on a low speed to combine everything. Then you want to pour everything into a sealable jar, like a mason jar, and have it tightly sealed and keep it in your fridge for maximum relief after a day in the sun. So when you come back from the beach or boat or whatever you did, if you were playing pickleball or tennis or playing golf, once you're back home and you've taken your shower, apply this wonderful do-it-yourself soothing after sun cream with just these 4 very healthy ingredients. And then let's talk about how to help you sunburn heal faster. You tried to take precautions, right? But still, maybe you got burned, and that's okay. Take these steps to heal your skin and just do better the next time. Take frequent cool baths or showers and immediately, again, apply that moisturizer to help trap water in your skin when you step out. You want to grab aloe gel and keep it in the fridge to keep it cool and apply it as necessary. I have a huge aloe plant on my window ledge, and I use it for moisturizer. I use aloe for a ton of different things. It's a topic for another day. You may also want to consider taking an aspirin or an ibuprofen to help reduce swelling and any discomfort that you may have. If, and hopefully not, but in the event that you do develop skin blisters, make sure that you don't pop them. Blistering skin means you have a 2nd-degree sunburn. That's what it means. Take extra care to protect sunburned skin from the sun and elements as it's healing. So you want to wear loosely fitted clothing, and you want the fabric to be like a tightly woven fabric that will help protect your skin from sun and wind. There's plenty of sun guard clothes right now that are protected with SPF 50. So if it feels comfortable enough to put that over your skin, then wear that. But let's hope that with all the suggestions that I gave you here, that you can enjoy the summer season and enjoy the sun, fun in the sun, right? Enjoy the sun, but make sure that you're protecting yourself from burns and anything else that could be skin damaging from the sun. So just make sure that you're protecting yourself. You're using your sunblock. You're going out during the hours that the sun is not the strongest. You don't want to go out between 10 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon and have like an SPF 15 on your skin. No way. No way. It has to be SPF 30 or above, depending on your skin type. So please, if you enjoyed this episode or you know of anyone who could really benefit from learning about protecting their skin from the sun, please share it out with them. It helps to get my message out to as many people as possible. And I want to thank you so much for listening here today. I so appreciate each and every one of you. And until the next time, be well, stay happy, and bye for now. Take good care, everyone.